First off, I want to give all praises and glory to the Most High Yahawah in the name of His only begotten Son YAHAWASHI, in the name of the Holy Spirit. In Hebrew, it's called Allah YAHAWAH Bahashem YAHAWASHI Bahashem Rahach Kodash. Double honors unto the elders and apostles of GMS who taught me this truth. Salutations to all the brothers out there that's teaching this word in truth and sincerity, and peace, blessings, and healings onto the elect, because that's why we do these videos. And today, man, I want to talk about what's happening in Iran. You know, there's uproars of the people protest. It says at least 7 dead in Iran as anti-Hajj protest grows. And also, I want to get into the history of this part of the world. And also, I got a video where, you know, the American government, Israeli government, they want to go into Iran. For what? They want to take their resources, so forth and so on. And I'll get into all that. But, you know, it says the 5th day of protests in Iran have resulted in multiple deaths amid a security crackdown following the death last week of Mashasha Amani, a 22-year-old from Iranian Kurdistan who reportedly died to being roughed up by police for unsuitable attire or not conforming to Islamic Republic standards of a hijab. You know what I'm saying? So let's get these videos, and then I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about. So let's get it. It says there is a revolution happening in Iran. Iranian people are fighting back against the Islamic regime like never before. I support their noble quest for freedom. We're going to get into the history, man, because these people don't care about their freedom, man. Iranian protesters are shouting death to dictator, just like what happened with Gaddafi, man. And you can go look up what else is happening over there with these revolutions, okay? So I want to get into the scriptures real quick. This is 2 Ezra chapter 9 and 3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then there shall well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonder and powerful works and endings and effects and signs. So YAHAWASHI said in the last days there will be uproars of the people on a global scale, and we're seeing that, man. And also, you know, America, Israel, you know, they want to go into Iran, man, point blank period. They do what they always have done, man, these color revolutions. You know, look this up. It says U.S. wages global revolutions to topple governments for the sake of American control. How many evils have been committed in the name of democracy? It says exporting wars, launching color revolutions, formatting extremist ideologies, and promoting economic instability. The U.S. have less endless trails of bloodshed and turmoil around the world, while the model of democracy loses its shine. You know, going down, it says to start a revolution, first you need to pick a color. And as you see, they picked this. You know what I'm saying? They picked this. You know, at least 7 dead in Iran as anti-Hajj protest grows. And they had a whole video down here. You know what I'm saying? They probably recorded it like a movie, like the moon landing or something, man. Who knows, man? You always gotta be fishy of these things, fishy of these people. You know what I'm saying? Whether it is Rose Revolution in Georgia in 2003, the Orange Revolution in Ukraine in 2004, and now you see what's happening in Ukraine now, man. It says the Talib Revolution in Kazakhstan in 2005, or the Arab Spring in Asia and in Africa in 2011. The past decades have seen the U.S. plan to implement color revolutions or wars without gunpowder in many places around the world, fractionally exporting American values. You know, so you can look up the rest of this article, man, because it goes through most of the color revolutions, you know, around the world. But I'm specifically talking about the Middle East. You know what I'm saying? So YAHAWASHI said there will be uproars of the people. You know what I'm saying? But also, this came out, you know, a while ago, you know, when 2001 happened to the towers, you know, and this dude came out and said there were 7 countries that America wanted to topple, you know, in that part of the world. You know what I'm saying? So Iran is the last one on that list.
10 days after 9/11, I went through the Pentagon. I saw Secretary Rumsfeld and Deputy Secretary Wolfowitz. I went downstairs just to say hello to some of the people on the Joint Staff who had used to work for me. And one of the generals called me and he said, "Sir, you got to come in. You got to come in and talk to me a second." I said, "Well, you're too busy." He said, "No." He says, "We've made the decision. We're going to war with Iraq." This was on or about the 20th of September. I said, "We're going to war with Iraq. Why?" He said, I don't know. He said, I guess they don't know what else to do. So I said, well, did they find some information connecting Saddam to Al-Qaeda? He said, no. He says, there's nothing new that way. They just made the decision to go to war with Iraq. He said, I guess it's like we don't know what to do about terrorists, but we've got a good military and we can take down governments. And he said, I guess if the only tool you have is a hammer, every problem has to look like a nail. So I came back to see him a few weeks later, and by that time we were bombing in Afghanistan. I said, are we still going to war with Iraq? And he said, oh, it's worse than that. He said, he reached over on his desk, he picked up a piece of paper, he said, I just got this down from upstairs, meaning the Secretary of Defense's office today, and he said, this is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran.
And finishing off Iran, man. And you heard them countries he named. They toppled all of them, man. Iran is the last one on that list. I want to get some scriptures in Ezekiel 38. I talked about it yesterday. It says Persia, Russia would defend Iran. That's where this whole World War III gonna come in at, man. Ezekiel 38, 1-4 is talking about Russia and bringing them in the world. Now they're in Ukraine, doing their thing. But then it says Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them. Talked about Libya and what he just said. Gaddafi, what they did to him, and I'm gonna get that in a minute. Persia, that's Iran. Look it up. Persia changed its name to Iran in 1935. All of them with shield and helmet. Gomar's talking about Turkey. But then it says, be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all that company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So Russia's going to be a guard onto Iran, man. You know what I'm saying? And you can look up, they got ties, they've been working together. I talked about it yesterday. Russia bought Iran drones and they've been using them to attack Ukrainians. So, that's going on. But let's talk about Gaddafi now, because everybody think, like these people say, there's a revolution happening in Iran. It's so wonderful and their noble quest for freedom. Y'all people are just ignorant, man. It's not because of that. Y'all know why it is, man. So let's get to Gaddafi real quick. There's a thing that I saw the other day. It says leaked Hillary Clinton emails revealed NATO killed Gaddafi to stop the formation of the United States of Africa. Point blank period. That's the only reason they killed, Gaddafi. He was going to unite all of Africa and he was going to use a gold-backed currency, so they took him out. It says that the 3,000 emails released from Hillary Clinton's private email server in late December 2015, about a third were from her close confidant Sidney Blumenthal. One of the emails dated April 2nd, 2011 read in part, Gaddafi's government holds more than 143 tons of gold and a similar amount in silver. And I got a picture right here, man. Doom. It went to the Middle East and they basically raped that whole area, man. Took all the opium. That's why we got an opioid crisis. You know what I'm saying? Took all the gold, and taken all the oil, man. You know what I'm saying? So keep going. This gold was accumulated prior to the current rebellion and was intended to be used to establish a pan-African currency based on the Libyan golden dinar. You know what I'm saying? So he was going to have a gold-backed currency, man. America uses this fiat currency, this paper money. It's not really real if you think about it, and that would have been a damage to white supremacy. You know what I'm saying? It says this plan was designed to provide a Franken-Cope African countries with the alternative to the French francs CFA. In the source comment, the original declassified email added, according to the knowledgeable individuals, the quantity of gold and silver is valued at more than 7 billion. They took it all, man. French intelligence officers discovered this plan shortly after the current rebellion began, and this was one of the factors that influenced President Nicolas Sarkoz's decision to commit France to the attack on Libya. According to these individuals, Sarkoz's plans are driven by the following issues: a desire to gain a greater share of Libya oil production, increase French influence in Northern Africa, improve the international political situation in France, provide the French military with the opportunity to reassert its position in the world, address the concern of its advisors of Gaddafi's long-term plans to support France as the dominant power in Francophone Africa. Conspicuously absent is any mention of humanitarian concerns. They don't care, man. These governments, the people who run this world, Esau Edom, the ones that's at the top, that starts with an R, Childs, you know what I'm saying? They don't care about that. They care about your resources, man. And we're going to get into Iran's resources in a minute. It says the objectives were to get rid of the unification of Africa, money, power, and oil. Gaddafi and Obama were best friends, but since Obama was now on the West side, making the matters worse, as the president of the USA, the West broke their friendship. This is what Gaddafi said about Obama. His friend wanted him dead. It says the mainstream media would never say this. Gaddafi said, Obama wants to kill me to take away the freedom of our country, to take away our free housing, our free medicine, our free education, our free food, and replace it with American-style thievery called capitalism. But all of us in the third world know what that means. It means corporations run the countries, run the world, and the people suffer. Point blank period. Everybody's suffering, you know what I'm saying? That's why they don't care about the people, you know what I'm saying? They care about the resources. That's it. Point blank period. And then let's get into these resources, man. How much natural gas Iran has? 1.183 trillion cubic feet. Iran holds that much of proven gas reserves as of 2017, ranked second in the world and accounting for 17% of the world's natural gas reserves. Iran has proven reserves equivalent to 1.619 times its actual consumption, you know what I'm saying? And what's the big thing right now that's going on? They're talking about blackouts. You know what I'm saying? Blackout here, blackout there. There's an energy crisis. You know what I'm saying? So that can be another thing. They've been setting up this whole world to go in that area, man. And it says, is Iran rich in natural resources? Iran is the fifth richest country in the world in terms of natural resources, such as oil, gas, coal, ore and wood, gold, silver, copper, uranium, crude oil, and phosphate. With 1% of the world's population, it has more than 7% of the world's mineral resources. What do they want to do? Rape, rob, and murder. You know, that's what these people are good at, man. They want to take all that stuff. They want to take it by force if they even have to. It's been a hard, job going over there, but, it's on their list and they want to do it, and that's going to bring in World War III, you know what I'm saying? Israel going to go in there probably. Russia's going to get involved. Iran, Russia, close-knit, you know what I'm saying? So, we waiting on this, man. So let's get it. Let's get some scriptures. This is Habakkuk 2 and 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. So these so-called white people, Esau, Edoms, man, the soul is not right in them, man. They just want to go take all your resources, take everything, man. It says, yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. Like, what's he doing on that side of the world? But YAHAWASHI said what? That he will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. You know what I'm saying? So everything's going according to plan. Who enlargeth his desire as hell and is as death. Wherever these Americans go, or these so-called white people go, France was attacking Libya, they're so-called white people. It's the same people, Edomites, and cannot be satisfied. The so-called white man is never satisfied. But he gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. America, Rome, Greece, they always been doing this. It says, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? And that's what this man has done, man, to everybody on the earth. Raped, robbed, and murdered the whole earth, man, of everything. It says, how long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay, thick debt. You know what I'm saying? Because all these Edomite countries are in super debt. It says, shall not all these rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be booties for unto them, because thou hast spoiled many nations. All the remnant of the people shall spoil thee. That's because, these countries ain't scared of America no more. They're teaming up now. Russia, Nicaragua, Venezuela, Iran, North Korea. You know what I'm saying? So going on to Micah 2, it says, woe to him that devised iniquity, and worketh evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand. These people run the world. The so-called white man runs the world, so he devises iniquity. He works evil plans. He wants to take everything you got, and he's never satisfied. Once he's taken what you got, he looks around, you got some stuff, he'll go over there and take what you got, and they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses, and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, and even a man in his heritage, just like they did with the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. They took their heritage. You know what I'm saying? In World War II, they went into Israel. You know what I'm saying? In 1948. And now they're there right now. It was prophecy that these heathens would take that part of the land. You know what I'm saying? And it leave the blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans and no people. You know what I'm saying? That's why they haven't done nothing for our people, man. Because they know who we are, but they took our identity. You know what I'm saying? Just like they took the Grecians' identity. You know what I'm saying? When they came down from the mountains of Mount Seir, took over that part of the land, took over Greece. They always been doing this, man, throughout history. Rape, robbing, and murder. But, now we at the end of the world, the end of prophecies. You know what I'm saying? Israel got a big part to play. Iran got a big part to play. You know what I'm saying? Israel, attacking Iran, bringing America into World War III, Russia into World War III. This whole cycle is going to, cause the end of the world to come. You know what I'm saying? So, we love to see it, man. We love to see it. So, that's all I wanted to talk about today, man. Double honors unto the elders and apostles of GMS who taught me this truth. And call Halal YAHAWASHI.